Hey everyone, in this video I wanted to go over my freelance editing setup. So my at-home office, basically how I've set it up, trying to be proficient and as optimal as I can while creating like a positive workspace. That sounds lame, but I mean like keeping yourself motivated while working from home. You know what I mean. So I'm going to show you some shots, so you've already seen some shots. This is my current editing setup. I recently had my editing setup in the living room. You might have seen some footage of it before. But I wanted to move it into my bedroom. Not only were some of my roommates working from home, and I wanted my own private space to be comfortable recording my YouTube videos, but I wanted to take it a little more serious and give myself like a real office. So I had to unfortunately put it in my bedroom, but I have a large bedroom, at least large enough to fit an entire desk in here and have a somewhat office space. You can see from the footage, like it's pretty clean. I'll go over a few things, but first some of the productive stuff that I find really helps. Number one thing was raising my other side monitors up to the same height as my regular monitor. You can see here they're sitting on risers. I think you can see them in the background because those two are just cheap monitors and I didn't really care about like high quality ones for my second and third monitor. So what I do is I put a riser. You could just use books, but you want to raise them up to not only be the level of your main monitor if they happen to be uneven, but you also want it so you're looking straight ahead at your monitors. You never want to have to be looking down because it's actually bad for your neck. And over long periods of time obviously it's not good for you or your spine, and you have to be very careful, especially when you're sitting down all day for long periods of time. It's already bad for you. So that's the main one I would say when I'm recommending people on setting up their office space. Number two is I made it nice and easy to have my phone charger. I wanted my phone to be near me but not right in the way, so I got a wireless phone charger I just put in front of my monitor, you can see here. And I can put my phone down, let it charge, and I can still see if a message comes up, but it's not in the way and doesn't distract me from when I'm working. They're super cheap, they're on Amazon. I'll link to some down below, or you can just go to Best Buy or something. They're just easy to set up. A few other little knickknacks. In this era, we got our hand sanitizer. That's not really for the desk, but you know, everyone keeps that around. I didn't get the Elgato one, but this is so I can use my HD camera as a webcam. I haven't really used it because I don't really have a good angle to set it up for my tutorials. You don't really need a webcam for my tutorials, but if you think the tutorials, or at least like my in After Effects and Premiere tutorials in the computer would be better with a webcam, let me know down in the comments. I feel like they don't really need it, but I mean, you let me know. And this was just a cheap little one instead of paying like $200 or whatever the Elgato one is. This is like $30 to $40 and it does the same thing. So I mean, Amazon company, super nice. And obviously for this camera and for everything else, an SD card reader, basic. Other than that, there isn't really too many knickknacks. I've moved away from big speakers and went down to my computer speakers here, which are the Bose ones. But the downside with that is they're not as good for sound mixing, so you want to make sure that you have good headphones. The headphones in the back and the ones you see in this video are not the ones I would use for sound mixing. That's my gaming ones. The only reason I have a different set is that one has a mic built in and it's more comfortable. And really I pick comfort over quality when I'm gaming. That's just the way it is. Another thing you might notice, I have two different mice. I've went over 2 or 3 videos now talking about why I have a mouse with multiple buttons on the side, which is the Razer Naga, which I would not recommend. I recommend the Logitech version with multiple buttons on the side. But for now, I have the Razer and I don't want to buy another one, and I use all those buttons for actually editing and if I was going to play an MMO like World of Warcraft or something. But I really like it for editing. I have, go in, go out, a bunch of other keyframes. I have copy, paste, a bunch of things just on those buttons that lets me edit and move faster within my editing software. But you'll notice I have a second mouse, which is this one here, which is just a pretty cheap, I was gonna say everything's gonna be Logitech because I work for them, but I still bought all these. I bought this and my Logitech keyboard. But the reason I got this is I'd like to play Valorant.
Oh my. You just wasted.
One enemy remaining. Last player.
Oh my! What?
An FPS, and if anyone knows, those MMO mice do not work on an FPS, and the Razer one has a ton of problems anyways. So I literally just turn this on whenever I want to play Valorant or an FPS. If not, I use the Razer one. Recently I got a mechanical keyboard, well not recently, maybe 6 months ago, and it's made a big difference in typing, just for feel, nothing really other than that. Even in my games I don't notice it that much, but it does feel nice and I would highly recommend it. If you have the extra cash you want to upgrade, it's something you will enjoy, especially putting long periods of time into something. Like I'm just going to be at my desk all day, so that's something that adds to it. Other than that, a few things here and there. You'll notice the records I have on the wall, they're not just random records. I do have some random ones around the house, But those ones, starting in 2016, I started collecting one record a year, which would be my favorite record of that year. And that represents, during that year, what I thought my favorite record was. As you can see, I have, if you can see in the background anyways, I have Chance the Rapper's coloring book from 2016, and currently that's definitely not my favorite one from 2016. But at the time it was, so it represents that snippet in time. So I was thinking down the line, you know, maybe I'll have a wall full of records and each one represents a year. So I thought that was cool to add. Added some lights. You can't really see them much here, but in some of the other videos they're nice to have in the background, especially because it's out of focus with how the camera is focused on me in the foreground. And the background will be a nice out of focus, like the bokeh will look nice with that. Other than that, there's not too much to it. I mean, just a nice cheap IKEA desk, and I got it set up how I like it. There's a bunch of other things in my room. As you can see in the video, I got a bunch of CRTs because I love Melee. I have my GameCube controller ready to go down by the side, and it's actually sitting on a skateboard for, if you ever watch my old videos, my original channel, I was a sponsored skateboarder in this small town in Alberta. Funny enough, I mean, it's a small town, so not everyone was very good at skateboarding, and this was before they had a skate park. So I got sponsored because I created content and I was skateboarding, and that's the board. So, I mean, it's just cool to have on the desk and nearby. Other than that, I wanted to keep it pretty clean. As I say that, I left a drink over there. But most of it, I mean, clean. I hate the IKEA black. That's all they had when I went to IKEA. I wanted like a nice wood one. You know, YouTubers got that nice wood and the nice background. But they didn't have any, so I went with this. Simple desk. The last thing I'll say, very important when you are setting up your computer, especially at home, is you need to have a surge protector power bar. I'm not going to show you mine because it's super messy down there with the cables, but I have an APC surge protector power bar. I said that too fast and I'm running out of breath. That's what I use to keep basically everything plugged in here. Make sure it's nice and safe. I got my big boy computer sitting right here. I don't know why I said big boy as I patted it. We're just going to ignore that. But it's sitting here. I should maybe get it off the floor, but what's nice is the case has like a built-in lift, so if there was water damage, it should be fine. And yeah, that's basically my setup. I like the 3 monitors. I like to have the 2 for editing and the 1 for the internet or for Discord as it is nowadays. And if you have any questions about why certain things are set up a certain way, or if you have some recommendations on what to do, let me know and I'll get back to you. So thanks guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. And the big CRT and the little CRT, it's a little more of a mess on this side, not something I really show off. But I mean, the actual desk setup is what people care about.